And now we know the field is set. Just two teams still standing, the Patriots and the Rams. And what a wild weekend, or a wild Sunday of football it was. I'm Wendy Nix with Adam Schefter, Ryan Clark, Jeff Saturday, and Louis Riddick. And about last night, well, we'll start with that and what happened in New Orleans.
They've got a huge home field advantage. That's kind of that us against everybody else mentality. The guys embrace that.
There's always a sense of urgency when you're in the postseason. There is that stress level that obviously turns your hair gray quicker than most.
Breeze to throw, caught, touchdown! Welcome to the playoffs, Gary Griffin.
He gives to Gurley. He picks his way for a touchdown! New Orleans got the first 13. The Rams have the next 10.
Quick throw to Taysom Hill. Puts his head down. Across the goal line. Taysom Hill. Touchdown, Saints!
God throws wide open. Caught for the touchdown. It's Tyler Higbee.
3rd down and 10. Breeze from the gun. Takes the snap. Goes to the near side. Hit early. Where's the flag? Unbelievable no call.
Saints 23, Rams 20 for now. 19 seconds left in regulation. A 48-yard attempt awaits Greg Zuerlein. His kick is good! Breeze retreats to throw. Arm is hit, ball is in the air, middle of the field, it is intercepted! If Zuerlein hits this field goal, the Rams are going to the Super Bowl. And Greg Zuerlein sends the Rams to the Super Bowl! LA will play for the Lombardi!
Well, here now, the front page of the New Orleans Times-Picayune. That was this morning. Reffing unbelievable. There was considerable reaction from both sides. As you might imagine, we'll start with head coach Sean Payton.
It was simple. They blew the call. They said it should never have not been a call. They said not only was it interference, it was helmet to helmet. There were two calls. They couldn't believe it. So that was, no. We spoke initially, then I called to follow up, and first thing Al said when I got on the phone, we messed it up.
I feel like it was obvious. I mean, there it is. I mean, everybody knows it's obvious. I mean, it's nothing. I mean, I don't know what else to say about it. I bounced up looking for a flag and didn't see one, so I was kind of shocked about that. But
I didn't look back at the ball. I didn't play the ball. If I would have played the ball, then it would have been a different story. But since I just went straight to him, and when I seen his hands go up and I hit him, I just heard the crowd go crazy, and I was like, oh, this is a flag. And then I got up, he said incomplete. I was like, oh.
So what do you think?
And then the ref said, like, low-key, it was a tip. Like, it was like tip. So I was just like, okay.
You know, there's just too much at stake. And it's a hard job for those guys because it's happening fast. But I don't know if there was ever a more obvious pass interference call that, you know, here it is, the NFC Championship game. So, you know, we probably never get over it. You know, the truth is you always, some of these losses like this, but one like that, it's too bad.
Well, for the second straight year, the Saints season ends in dramatic fashion. We will begin on Overreaction Monday by saying this. Clearly, the call was missed. So that pass interference call was the worst no call in NFL history. Overreaction?
Well, I'm going to go first because it's easy.
Go ahead.
This is not an overreaction.
Wow.
There has never been a call at such a pivotal time that was so obvious that was missed. This wasn't even Dez, did he catch it, did he not catch it, Dez caught it. This is a pass interference. He got there before the ball got there. He also got there helmet to helmet. You could have threw all kinds of flags. Just pick one.
Yeah.
Just pick one that lets the Saints get a new set of downs because he did them all.
You brought up Dez, and I think of the Tuck rule, I think of Dez Bryant, I think of the controversial calls in NFL postseason history. Those are interpretations of rules.
Yes, right. They had rules.
This is just so obvious that everybody watching it knew exactly what happened. And that's why maybe we'll get some discussion about whether you can do anything about this. Because if everybody can see it, that's why replay is designed to guard against something egregious happening. Well, guess what? Something egregious happened.
That's the craziest part. The reason it's not a reaction is because anyone who watches football, if they just started watching football yesterday, they would go, you can do that? And they said, no, you can't do that. Absolutely can't. And you can. RC and I were watching a game together as this went on, and when the play happened, I was like, PI and helmet to helmet. And they were like, really? I'm like, I'm telling you both. No flags. I mean, any person who watches the game, and the worst part, you got two guys who were supposed to be watching that play in particular. How they missed that call or say that they got there simultaneously, any of that nonsense.
Yeah, they got there simultaneously.
Yeah, but before the call. And listen, when you're scared and trying to go get somebody, of course you're going to get there in a hurry.
There's a couple of things that are kind of messed up right here. Did you hear Nickel Roby-Coleman just say that the ref told him, he said low-key it was tipped?
Yeah. Low-key, though.
Okay, what's low-key it was tipped to mean? Like, keep it quiet? Don't tell anybody else. What does that mean?
What he's saying is like, hey, low-key, that's what happened.
Yeah, right. Like, it's what happened. I'm telling you, that's what happened.
It's between me and you and America.
Yeah, me, you and everybody who watched.
But here's the other thing. When you watch the all-22 of this play, there are two refs who are stationed perfectly, maybe 7-8 yards away from the play, staring right at it, just watching the ball like a fan. Ball's thrown by Drew, you watch it, boom, the guy gets hit, and they just go,
turn.
I'm like, come on now. So two people are looking at it.
But let's explain this. So here's the deal, though. In football, in every play in football, when the referees, when they position, they have certain things that they're looking for. So as players and as coaches and as when you watch the game, you know who's responsible for what call. Is it the side judge, the back judge, whatever? So everyone knows this is someone in particular's job.
The referee.
Here's the thing, though.
Exactly. And now you got two that's happening on the side. I mean, it is as clear as it can be. This is. I mean, when you talk about the finality of what it just caused, it's the most insulting thing that can happen to a player. When you put all this in, and that is the reason why all the time. That's right.
In the Chiefs game, Tom Brady gets hit across the chest.
Yes.
Personal foul. Hands to the face.
Yes.
Across the chest.
Yeah. Didn't even hit his face.
This guy gets hit square in the face. Gets his body. It looked like that play was the play Mark Clayton, I believe it was, all way back in Miami Dolphins.
Feet above.
Where he gets turned around like he does the helicopter in the air. Look at him.
Yeah.
He gets turned around like a helicopter. No helmet to helmet. No PI. Ref staring right at it. I'm telling I don't know how Sean Payton. Wait a minute. Can we run that back right there? Can we run that back? I mean, how that ball low-key tipped?
No.
There was no one near it.
That's why he said low-key, because between those two.
And America.
I mean, see, this is the kind of stuff, man. This is why. See, it's wrong that we're talking about this.
Yeah.
It's wrong that we're talking about
what anybody wants
exactly. But this is what
earlier, though. Well, it's that because the play's on the sideline. It's wide open.
Come on.
Yeah.
Right? And like Jeff said, if everybody can see it, it's the old adage we used to have, or the old complaint we had about the catch.
Yeah.
Right? If people in bars or people who don't know football who are sitting at home can say it's a catch.
That's right.
Then it should be a catch.
Yeah.
It's exactly like that for this play, Wendy. If you can't just look at your guy and say, hey, man, that's pass interference. You've never watched football.
No.
You don't know football.
No.
Yeah,
you definitely
you would
be
ask this question.
There really wasn't a great call here. There was no break.
So what happens now? So what happens? Does the official get downgraded, suspended, demoted, fired?
Something has to. Something has to when you're looking at it. You have a perfect angle of it.
It's
you know, the ref who was behind the play, who was like down around the 5-yard line, somewhere near the goal line. You can see the wide receiver coming towards you. You see the defensive back coming like this. You see him. It's a clear line of sight.
Right.
You can't miss that.
But Lewis, but you get this though.
That's not human error.
But you'll get this though. It's not my call.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you
know get that for referees.
Well, you already heard it. You already heard it. He was like, hey, it's not my call. I didn't see it.
Well, it was somebody's call.
But here's the thing.
Then you know what? Yeah. Then you shouldn't be ref.
Yeah. Referees understand too. You understand the flow of a game. Right. So you understand when a guy is in chase mode. So it's not like this is the first game these guys have ever refereed, right? So when you see the receiver coming wide open out of the backfield and you see a panicked DB chasing a guy down and never looking at the ball, never turn back, they are taught, get the penalty, don't give up the touchdown. We've all been taught that since Pee Wee football. You'd rather give up 15 yards or spot foul than you would a touchdown. So at that moment, so the referee sees it. You know he's out of phase. He's panicked.
How many times do we hear people say, PB's got to get their head around
this is why
we hear commentators say it.
Yes.
We hear commentators say it. We hear people on TV say it. If the DB don't get a head around, it's automatically PI.
Right.
Well, this guy, you're right.
Yeah.
He even admitted.
Can you do that again, please?
But he actually.
It looked like the water boy. He's going to get some.
He didn't have no hands. It wasn't even hands. But the thing is, though, what Jeff is saying And what Nikhil Roby-Coleman was saying was what he was taught.
Yeah.
He's been taught that since very little. If you're out of phase, if you're beat, you can't look back at the quarterback.
Of course you can't.
Right.
And so that's what he's doing.
Unfortunately, you also can't just crush the receiver.
He got there early, and he knew he was wrong. Whenever you do something after the play, he got the T-Rex on.
He did. That's
true. And those are the arms of, like, I'm waiting for my mom to
he
tell me I'm
admitted
punished.
it. He said, I heard the crowd. I said, oh, this is a flag.
Yeah.
And then I looked and the ref was like, he was like,
giddy,
oh.
by the way. I mean, he is like, you guys. He is like, you guys.
They missed. I'm good.
Wow.
Hey, but you know what he did? As every good DB would do, after they don't throw the flag, what do you do? Incomplete. Incomplete. I made a play.
And he's dabbing up his boys like, you played, dog.
You saw me.
Man.
Well, Saints wide receiver Michael Thomas tweeted this: "Hey Roger, if you have to think about it, you should know who Roger is. Roger Goodell, the commissioner. Hey Roger, pick up the phone." He's referring to Rule 17, Section 2, Article 1 in the NFL rule book that reads, "The commissioner has the sole authority to investigate and take appropriate disciplinary and/or corrective measures if any club action or non-participant interference or calamity," my goodness, occurs, a calamity in which the commissioner deems to extraordinarily affect the game. Look, here's the deal. He's trying to argue that the commissioner can replay this game.
Yeah,
not going to
good
happen.
luck with that.
Not going to happen. But
Shefty, when does it happen before?
Never.
I asked Shefty before. I was like, Shefty, tell me. He's like, let me think about it. Never.
Well,
David Toombs.
here's what might happen, though. Obviously, one of the things that's being talked about as a result of this is the fact that PI calls or lack thereof can't be reviewed, at least the way, or challenged, I should say, right now. So let me say this again: Overreaction Monday. Instant replay will be expanded by next season, and particularly we're talking about the ability to challenge these calls or non-calls.
I'm going to say it's an overreaction only because will the league really go that far? I mean, have they ever been that willing to just admit that something is wrong as far as their process is concerned, like that easily? Although it should be. It should. Look, even if you can't challenge this, the league office should be able to look at this play at headquarters as this game is going on and going, hey, wait a minute. Let me just step in here and just tell you something. You missed this call. We got to correct this right here. Let's forget the PI call. How about in the name of player safety?
Right.
The guy got crushed in the face. Are you willing to step in when referees miss those calls and say, look, we're trying to protect players, right? Let's remove the head from the game, right? It's a playoff game, I understand. It's a championship game, I understand. But it's still about player safety, right? So you have to care about it, whether it's preseason when you're throwing flags all over the place or it's the NFC Championship game. Player safety still matters, right? Their health still matters, whether it's the preseason or it's the NFC Championship game. So why can't the league just step in that case and go, you blew this? It's a penalty. I don't care if it can actually end the game as far as the Saints are concerned, meaning they can run out the clock, kick the field goal, and walk off. It's still a matter of protecting the players. Let's just boil it down to that. Oh, well, if you're not going to do that, then I guess player safety is conditional, right? Is that what we're saying? Because look, I mean, we can't sit here and just go, well, I don't know, I don't get, because the guy got hit in the face. And you've been saying we're trying to protect players. You've been calling flags when this stuff happens. People don't even get hit in the face and they call flags.
Right.
Tom Brady got hit in the chest and you called a flag. This guy got crushed and got helicoptered. You don't call a penalty. That right there, there's a problem there. There's a problem.
It's been inconsistent all season.
Yes.
Inconsistent.
Okay, and let's remember the fact that there were 3 or 4 senior officials that left the league office before the start of the season. They brought in a bunch of new officials. And obviously, they're not up to the challenge, some of these officials. So to say instant replay be expand next year, they talk about expanding it all the time. They talk about making officials' calls reviewable, challengeable. They've never done it. They never really acted upon that.
I'm not even saying make it challengeable. How come headquarters can't, as they're watching this game, go, wait a minute, that right there is just an egregious rule violation. We have to fix this right here. On the spot, we're taking control.
Let me tell you why it's not an overreaction. Because Sean Payton is on the competition committee.
Very good.
And let me say, meetings, man.
We have sat in those meetings many a time.
We don't change things.
Players can say everything they want. They can beat the desk. They can talk about things being unfair. No one cares, right? No one cares. Sean Payton's going to get up there. He's going to give an impassioned speech, and every general manager and head coach in there understands that their legacy, their job, their families, all their livelihoods are on the line from some guy who missed a call. They're going to make a change. I don't know what I don't know how they're going to change it. But I'm going to tell you, when the big dog is sitting in the room and his team, it costs his team, I can tell you he'll be the first guy beaten on the desk.
And that's what I think, too. I don't think it's an overreaction. Now, I don't know what the change will be.
Right.
But there will be some way to make sure that plays like this don't cost teams games on the biggest stages. This is a black eye for the NFL.
Preach that.
More than any other call that there's been in a moment like this. This is a black eye. And one thing they don't want and that they will protect, Lewis, is the shield.
That's
You're talking about protecting players. They will
that's
protect
my point.
the shield.
We keep talking about though, we don't want it to cost people games on the biggest stage. But you said we will do whatever it takes. Al Riveron sat up here and told us it's been mandated and handed down. We must protect the players.
Survey says that's a lie.
Yeah.
But they will protect that shield.
Come on, man.
Hey,
no chance.
I'll tell you, how many people I got text from? I was amazed. That was rigged. It's fixed.
Oh.
There are people who think that. I mean, it's not.
No.
It's not, but there are people out there who believe that. When
I just want to know this then.
Integrity of the
That's
game.
all I want to know.
That compromises the integrity of the game.
Exactly. I just want to know this. The ref who's standing there watching this play, and you saw it happen, why didn't you call it?
Yeah.
My man's happy.
Why?
Bird box
Just tell me why. I mean, I'm sure everybody was like, why didn't you call a penalty on that play? Why didn't you even call face-to-face? There's none.
Excuse. No explanation.
There's none.
I'm going to tell you what. You know what is the toughest on? People that work at Foot Locker. If you work at Foot Locker in New Orleans, they're mad at you because you got on striped shirts.
Yeah.
So I'm letting you know.
Just wear something else, man.
I always thought after Bountygate that New Orleans always would despise the league office. Woo. Well, now there's something that they despise the league office about even more than Bountygate.
100%.
This is something that those fans always will remember and will hold against officials in the league office.
They should. Every Saints fan is right to be upset about
Sean
this.
Payton said it best. There's some things you don't get. They won't get over.
Right.
No.
Never.
You ain't getting over this.
It's tough.
Well,
not as a competitor. You don't
I
get
agree
over
with you, Lewis. I think your most cogent argument going forward would be player safety. But when you're talking about people doubting the integrity of the game, doubting the outcome,
there are people.
I know that. I heard the same thing. That is of considerable
because you
concern.
know what? Those people are going to want an explanation as to you saw the play,
right.
you looked at it, why didn't you call it?
Yeah.
You're live, you're right there. Don't say that's human error. Why didn't you call
come back? So what does the league do about it? Do they fire the guys? Do they suspend
the guy who missed? Yeah, he's done. But it's got to be bigger than just that. You know what I mean? Yeah. I mean, you can't miss. I mean, you think about it. You just cost 53 guys a chance at the Super Bowl. And people say, well, they had overtime.
Changed history.
Yeah, you changed it, man. They get 3 points. So however you look at it, whatever it looks like, yeah, they're going to make – guys are going to lose jobs. But the problem is, if it happens again, how do we fix it so it doesn't cost the next group of 53?
You can't be reactionary. You got to prepare for the future.
That's right.
Coaches lose jobs for making bad calls. Players lose jobs for having,
for making bad plays.
Errors. Yeah. Referee, look, if you're standing there, you got a good look at it and you miss it. You got a good look at it and you miss it. Problem.
It definitely has to be reviewed.
It's a problem.
It's a definite problem. Again, Sean Payton on the competition committee, so there is no doubt that this will be a continued topic as we go forward in the offseason. Coming up on NFL Live, we know the Eagles quarterback position is up in the air, but is there drama in the locker room regarding last year's Super Bowl champs? And speaking of champs, what stood out most to us on this outstanding championship weekend?
Greg Zuerlein sends the Rams to the Super Bowl. LA will play for the Lombardi.
NFL Live is brought to you by Verizon. Chosen by experts. Chosen by you.
Multiple star players on the Philadelphia Eagles have defended quarterback Carson Wentz on Twitter. This is after a publication called The Philly Voice published a report in which unnamed team sources described the quarterback as being selfish, uncompromising, and egotistical. Here's what Zach Ertz offered via Twitter. Don't believe everything you read. Carson has been nothing but a great person, great teammate, and great leader since day one. Our locker room stands behind him all the way. Fletcher Cox added this, reading through this Carson Wentz thing, and as a leader on this team, none of that is true. Carson is a great teammate and a great player. We are all behind him 100%. He's our guy, and we'll come back and prove the world wrong. If you got a problem, feel free to @ me, and I'll respond. And finally, Eagles tackle Lane Johnson chimed in. Whoever wrote that article needs to check their sources. with the hashtag fake news. Carson has been and is our leader and our quarterback. Y'all know where to find me if you have any issues. Overreaction Monday continues. Here's what I'll say. Eagles quarterback drama is far from over. Overreaction, not an overreaction. Jeff?
I'm going not an overreaction. I mean, you're seeing guys respond, and you're seeing guys step up for Carson Wentz, which is great. I don't think it's a locker room issue. I think it's a fan, general manager, coaching. I think that's where the drama comes in. Is do we pay him the $20 million? How can we keep him here? They've proven they can win with both guys there. They won with Nick Foles. They won the Super Bowl with that. So it's not a matter of can it happen. They already know. It's already been proven they can do everything you need to do with two quarterbacks. But the drama isn't between Carson and Foles and the locker room. It's between general managers. What can you get? Trade picks, all that kind of stuff. That's where the pressure is, and the fans. Listen, fanatics, right? I mean, we all get what it's from. So if you understand what that is, there are going to be a lot of people with personal feelings on one side or the other. But the reality is they can do both and be just fine.
All that's true, and I believe it's not an overreaction either. All that's true, but I don't believe it just stops there. Right, when Nick Foles goes to a new team, and if Nick Foles is balling and that team is playing really well, and Carson Wentz is hurt again, then it's going to be more drama. Did we make the right decision? Right. Did we keep the right guy? Did we get enough back for Nick Foles because he's playing this way? And so this has to continue to play out. And to me, whether, the whole source thing and speaking anonymously, that's not my deal.
No, right? I don't think it should be anybody's deal, really.
I don't really like that. But the fact that his team feels the need to come out and defend him, that is also an issue. And so for me, this drama is
why is that an issue that they're defending?
Because the fact that you have to. Not saying that they shouldn't. I'm saying the fact that you have to come out and respond to the article.
The article tarred them, and they wanted to step up as the leadership team.
Adam, you're missing my point. My point is the fact that it has to be done. Not that they are doing it. They should be supporting their quarterback. I'm saying the fact that there is anything to refute says that there's an issue in that locker room that needs to be handled. And it's about handling this situation.
How many teams have you seen where the backup quarterback, where another player has like a shrine to the backup quarterback?
Right. I mean, that was telling.
How many teams have you ever seen where the backup quarterback has billboards throughout a city where people are thanking you and calling you Saint this and Savior that? And now, that may sound like, well, that's just people being appreciative and people liking, Nick Foles for what he did, and he was Super Bowl MVP and won a Super Bowl. But look, man, the fact of the matter is when you say this, and I don't even remember what I answered, whether it's an overreaction or not, but it's not an overreaction to say that this drama is far from over because, look, there is evidence that this football team responded differently to Nick Foles.
Yes.
Okay? And the offense played differently with Nick Foles. And there was evidence that the offense was struggling some with Carson Wentz. Not that Carson isn't a great person, maybe a great leader, tremendous talent, but the team responded. So when you say that the quarterback drama is not over, it's not an overreaction. It's not over because Carson needs to prove that he learned something from watching Nick Foles, and that maybe less is more for Carson Wentz. Dial it back some. Learn something from Nick. Maybe people start putting shrines in their locker to you. You know what I'm saying? And that's not to be facetious or be sarcastic.
It's funny, though.
But you don't see that happen. I don't know any other team that's like that. Yeah. You know what I mean? I mean, that backup quarterback had a lot of cachet in this locker room.
Yes,
many of these issues that you're raising are true, but the fact of the matter is they're going to move on from Nick Foles. They're going to make Carson Wentz their quarterback. It seems like it's drama today, but it's not going to be drama over a long period of time. And so what? I've got a shrine to Jeff Saturday in my locker here.
Hey. You know what? I'm going to build one too then. You know what, Jeff? I'm going to build you one too.
All right, still to come on NFL Live. Everyone loves a good underdog story. But when you have Brady and Belichick, are you ever really in that position? We talk next.